Hi, I'm Krista Strayer and welcome to Nourish the Teacher. This is a 4-part mini video series training to help teachers recover their deep energy reserves. So welcome and thank you for tuning in and taking care of yourself for a change. So in this video series, we're going to look at what's causing you to feel not your best, or to not have the energy that you want to have. We are going to tap into what that potential would feel like if you did have that energy. And we'll look at some small, simple changes that can help you get on that road to rebuilding your energy reserves. And the best of all, we're going to start these right away. So right after this first video series, I'm going to give you some homework to do to help you feel better tomorrow. And then we'll check back in tomorrow. So just a little bit of background about me, so you know why we're here and why this has come into being. I have been teaching yoga in schools as a phys ed unit and training teachers to use yoga and mindfulness in their classrooms for just over 10 years. In fact, yoga in the schools is a real big passion of mine. I love what it can do for students and for teachers. But what I found in the last few years is that yoga isn't the answer. And yes, yoga does some amazing things. In fact, it practically gave me my life back when I had some chronic pain. So it's great for stretching and strengthening, and even better yet, it's really good at helping us to focus and concentrate, but it won't fix everything. So you might ask, what will? Is it meditation? Meditation is a pretty hot button right now. It's mindfulness is the latest fad or latest craze, and absolutely, meditation does amazing things as well. I remember many moons ago, I went on my first meditation retreat, and it was a half-day course, essentially, a retreat in meditation. And at the time, I was suffering from my chronic back pain. And after that half day of meditating, and I admit I was a little bit worried about going to it, but after that half day, I was pain-free for several days. It lasted for several days. But we can't always just zone out for a half day and spend the whole day meditating. So that's not going to be the answer yet. The answer, though, to having better sustained energy and just feeling amazing does have to do with yoga and mindfulness, absolutely. But the answer is actually even much older than that. It's been around for ages, and it's just simple, ancient wisdom involving reconnecting to nature. And it's not rocket science. It's simply living according to the laws of nature and noticing what we really feel like. So it's about eating when it's time to eat, eating foods that nourish us in the right season. It's about going to bed and waking up according to the rhythm of the sun. So electricity and heating are amazing inventions, but they have distanced us from how the natural world really works. And whenever there's a disconnect in what we do, it leads to a disconnect in how we feel. Another word for disconnect could be a dis-ease. So I'm going to share with you just some small, simple tips and tools for how to reconnect yourself to nature. And even though these little things might be simple, they're not always simple to do. I will give you that. In an age of a quick fix magic pill, it's not going to be that. But we'll give you some tools to help make these into new habits. Let's dive into this, just starting with why. Why are you watching this? Why are you here? What's calling you to make a change in your life, to start looking after you for a change? Are you feeling tired and exhausted? Achy in your body and your joints? Perhaps this feeling comes on later in the day. Or is it right with you from when you wake up? Do you feel restricted and congested? Or bloated in the stomach? Do you feel heavy, lethargic, or depressed? Are you lacking in energy to do the things that you want to do? Or simply just lacking in motivation? Are you tired of feeling tired and want that energy to live the way you want to do? What is it that doesn't feel right for you today? What is happening that you know you could be different? Is there something that's holding you back from doing everything you want to be doing, or being the person that you know you can be? And this might be in terms of health-wise, it might be professional-wise, but just in terms of your dreams and your goals. Not feeling good is costly, right? It can be the health costs. It can be lost promotion or days that you were not able to work. It can be that just the simple lack of connection with your friends and family, which might be the most costly of all. In Ayurveda, these symptoms are signs of what we call ama. All right, let's go into what ama is. This can be our first big lesson of our series. And ama is toxic waste. And you can think of it as a toxic buildup that's spread all through your body. So one way to think of this is to imagine the plaque on your teeth with that white coating on your tongue. So the two places that we can actually see ama. And actually, perhaps the coating on your tongue isn't white. Some places this ama shows up as white, like on your teeth. But sometimes it's different. So you can go ahead and you can pause the video, go stick out your tongue in a mirror, and what color is it? Is there a coating there? Is it red? Is it white? Is it yellow? Is it green? Is it brown? And then imagine this in your joints, and in your lungs, and your belly, and your kidneys, and around your heart. This plaque or this coating doesn't just stop in our teeth and our mouth. Another image that I've heard for this is it could be like a dark toxic buildup. So imagine that image of smoker's lungs, the black tar that creeps through the delicate lung tissue. And this ama builds up everywhere in our bodies. And I'm sorry for the graphical nature on this, but it is kind of gross. So do you have ama? So here's some of the signs that you might have this ama through your body. Do you have bad breath, a coated tongue? Does your appetite ever dull, or your skin tone feel dull or prone to acne? Do you feel congested or have difficulty breathing? Just kind of all stuffed up. Or do you have delicate digestion? So it's hard to eat certain things, or you get bloated after you eat? Do you ever feel sluggish or irritable? Do you have sluggish or irritable elimination? Or just generalized pain throughout the body, or a feeling of fatigue, or even depression is a sign of ama that's built up through the body and through the brain? Are you susceptible to infections? Does every little cold take you down? Are you having difficulty making decisions? This list is in your handouts. I'm just going to go through that and just check off. Which ones do you occasionally feel? Which ones do you often feel? Then the big question is, why does this ama build up in the body? What causes this ama? And ama is not just the toxins that we take in through our food. You might think of that bag of potato chips or the one extra glass of wine that you know you really didn't need. These can be sources of ama, but it's not restricted to just what we choose to eat. Ama is created through everything that we take in. So it's created through emotional drama, stress that we don't get to process properly, or just really anything we don't process properly is a toxin. So anything we don't process properly is a toxin. This includes anything that we take in through all of our senses. So through the mouth, the ears, the nose, the eyes. Think of a thought that keeps running through your head. So perhaps you overheard a comment or remark that you jumped to a conclusion on, and it caused a whole toxic grief within your body because you did not really process it properly. You didn't deal with it in the right manner, or ask the right questions, or get clarification. And this residue that it builds up is ama, the plaque that restricts our body and our cells. And this ama can circulate through our body, causing us to feel achy, tired, foggy, and weighed down. And these feelings not only weigh us down in the present and cause us to miss out on what life could be, but they're laying the seeds and the pathways for future disease. So the long-term effects of ama, so these symptoms that we feel now, can gradually transition into a yeast infection, gallstones or kidney stones, tumors, blockage or hardening of the arteries, which is heart or stroke risk, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, depression. And it's even present in the brain. This mental fog or this Alzheimer's can be a symptom of ama, or an effect of ama, I guess we could say at this point. So how do we get rid of this ama? We don't want to live like a monk all of our days. We want to be able to enjoy life. We don't want to have to seal ourselves off in a bubble. Life is meant to be lived, but how can we live our life to the fullest? And so don't think about this, about rooting out all these bad habits or just not having any fun. Pleasure is absolutely good for us. So I'm not going to tell you not to drink any red wine or a piece of chocolate. Absolutely. However, when it's not properly processed, i.e. perhaps we're eating when we're angry or upset, or we eat too much that we don't really need, then it becomes ama. So it's simply a matter of tuning in to how we feel in the situation. So just because we indulge every once in a while does not mean it ends up as ama. We still want to indulge with a glass of wine, a cupcake, or a Starbucks. We want to be able to celebrate all of life's special milestones without having to feel guilty about it. But we also want to feel good at the same time. We don't want to feel terrible afterwards. Alright, in our next video we're going to go into another character from Ayurveda called Ojas. And Ojas is that nectar of life, the sweetness of life, and what we want to have more of as we enjoy life. But as we finish off, I want to leave you with some place to start today. So your first to-do on getting on that path to getting rid of ama and having an awesome, awesome day. So your first step of getting rid of ama is actually just to get a good night's sleep. So I want you to write down on your worksheet, what time do you go to sleep right now? And I want you to rate the quality of your sleep. How rested do you feel in the morning? Now that you've got that down on paper, the key period for digestion is from 10 to 2. And it's a whole other training as well as to why that is. But we'll save that for another time. So just trust me on this one today that from 10 to 2 is the time when our body naturally digests. Okay, and this applies to the morning and in the evening. But in the evening, if we can get to sleep by 10 p.m., we will have the power to digest our food properly. And even more important during the night is we have the power to digest everything that we took in that day. Through our senses, our thoughts, our feelings, and anything that we perceive we need to digest, or else it starts to build up in the body. So 10 p.m. is the average of when it gets dark outside. So for those living away from the equator, our days and nights have some massive shifts. But by 10 p.m., the natural world is kind of naturally starting to quiet down. And if you're not going to sleep before 10 p.m., if that was not the number, or if the number you wrote down there was not 10 p.m. or earlier, then I want you just to start moving your bedtime back in line with nature. So I want you to shift it back slowly, just by 15-minute increments. And if you already get to bed early, that's awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. Let's work on the quality of your sleep. So these sleep strategies I'm going to share with you today work for both camps. When you move your bedtime routine earlier, it's not an automatic switch, right? You need to wind down before your body will let you sleep. And even if you do fall asleep earlier, winding down earlier lets that sleep be much deeper and much more restful. So let's look at some things we can do for an evening wind down ritual. A foot massage can be super nice, super relaxing and grounding to help us slip into slumber. What I love to do is just rub some essential oil into the bottoms of my feet. So using something that will help to promote relaxation, like lavender or frankincense. Doing a relaxing yoga pose helps to quiet the body and helps to calm down that nervous system. For some personal reading, so nothing that's going to get you, your mind all riled up for thinking about work. Something that's enjoyable and relaxing. Or doing a calming evening meditation just to help soothe the thoughts of the day. Journaling works great for that as well. Having an Epsom salt bath is one of my favorites because the health benefits of doing this are also huge. You can check that out. I have some teacher wellness resources at the Nourish website, so you can look for more on that. And having a calming cup of tea can be a nice way just to, that heat helps to relax the body as well. Alright, I want you to try one of these tonight. Just pick one that's the easiest and the simplest for you to do. I know there's a tendency that, oh, more would be better. But at this point, really one is all that you need and all that we want to start adding in. And then I want you to get ready for lesson number 2 tomorrow, where you get to meet Ojas, the nectar of life. So we'll talk more about this, the cost of omelet tomorrow, and the long-term consequences. We're going to start to craft your ideal day. All right. Sweet dreams.